So good evening, everybody. Welcome to our November after work event. The topic for this evening is SWOT analysis, and it's going to be presented by Owen Ramsay. Owen is a longtime member and also the past chair of Section 303. He's the president of his own consulting firm. He works with top management to implement many of the Lean Six Sigma and other advanced process control techniques. So, ladies and gentlemen, Owen Ramsay.
Back in 2008, while I was chair of Section 303, one of the first things we did was a SWOT analysis and Kano model. And out of those activities, a number of things occurred that led us to goal. So my hope is that we can repeat that same thing again this year. Because a lot of things came out in the SWOT and the Kano model that allowed us to readjust our approach to meeting our vision that led to enhanced membership, numbers of memberships, enhanced membership satisfaction, and all around we had improvements. So my hope is that after these activities are completed, that we'll be able to pull the necessary information together and implement the kind of activities we need to have done by the section in order to have value to our members and improvements in membership satisfaction. All right, so let me go here and do some my slide here. Okay, I've been in quality for quite some time, a number of years, and the approach that I use basically crosses all types of businesses. I've done my approach, Lean Six Sigma approach, in military, hospitals, government agencies, private companies, and gotten good results all around. Okay. All right. Gotten good results all around because of the approach. And fundamental to that approach is a certain way of starting how you work towards improvement in the opportunities for the business. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, the planning tools for inputs, and this works across the board. This epoxy tool. What's a epoxy tool? You're familiar with a CPOC, supplier input process output customer. But my experience says there are two key things that are missing. And I intend to write an article on this. And that is competitors and expectations. When you go into strategic planning, those are two key things that must be part of the whole strategy of approaching your planning sessions. You must look at the competitors and you must understand the expectations, because that will help define the things you need to do in order to achieve high levels of customer satisfaction. Because at the end, that's what the business is all about. Of course, you have your mission, vision, objectives, and so on of the organization. That's all part of it. You do a pestle analysis, political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental. You do a SWOT, a Kano, and core values based on Baldrige principles. And of course, a balanced scorecard. Now, back in February, there was an article that I put out on, that's published in the American Society for Quality's QP magazine, that basically captured some work I did with one government agency that used a lot of these tools. So if you want to, see how I approach it, that's a pretty good article to look at. It's this past February. So today we're going to spend some time on two of these tools, the SWOT and the Kano, and it'll be centered around ASQ. All right, what can we do to improve membership satisfaction at our section? Next slide, please. Now, considerations. The things that impact the quality of products and services delivered and members' performance are key organizational relationships. collaborative environment, strategic challenges, or approach to performance improvement. Now, when you become a member of any organization, you're there for a reason. You see value in being part of that organization. And one such as ours, ASQ, these are some of the things that we want to make sure that our members are able to enjoy. The collaborative environment, working together to get things done. I remember back in in the 2008-2009, one of the things we did was to come together to publish articles. How can you come together and work in publishing an article? I remember working with Rick Calabrese, we published 2 articles. All right? So, learning. I know Sam is very big on social network and so on. How can we come together when we have problems and have it addressed? A section, as part of our section, sharing problems and little tidbits on what to do in order to overcome whatever challenges you're faced with. So we need to take our organization to the next level, and Sam is a very good guy with the tech, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to help us take us in the direction we want to go using technology. Strategic challenges and our approach to performance improvement. I'm hoping that out of the activities that we are going to be able to identify the things that you consider important, the things that you see as beneficial. Why is it I'm an ASQ member? What is it I'm looking for? What are the things what are the things that are not there? So all that needs to come out in the SWOT analysis, in the Kano model, so we can shape the way we do the business of ASQ in order to meet our member needs. Okay, next slide please. You need critical insight into key internal and external factors that shape ASQLI's operating environment. These factors such as mission, vision, values, competitive and collaborative environment impact the way ASQLI is run and the decisions made. We must understand the key requirements for current and future organizational success and sustainability, and the needs, opportunities, and constraints placed in ASQLI's performance management system. If there's some things we just can't do, you need to be aware of that. In my business, when I normally deal with top management, and my approach is to first get alignment in the organization. And why alignment is to make sure everybody understands what the company can and cannot do. I have found more often than not that people, when they are unhappy with an organization, is because top management hasn't taken the time to get them to understand the limits that surround the performance of the organization. What is it that they can and cannot do? So one of the things that I always try to do, whatever business I'm doing, and we can do that today, is try to set those limits. So you're all aware of it. All right, so we'll be working towards that with the SWOT analysis. Next slide, please. Must increase customer satisfaction. That's the mission statement. To increase customer satisfaction by providing educational and networking resources desired by section members, organizations, and the community. Use quality principles, systems, and technology to optimize the effectiveness in a modern global society. So as we go through the SWOT analysis and the Kano model, these are some of the things you must keep in mind. Next slide, please. Now, what's a SWOT analysis? A SWOT analysis is a systematic assessment of an organization's internal and external environment and identifies attributes that affect its ability to achieve its vision and member satisfaction. It looks at both current internal strengths and weaknesses of the section's core competencies, as well as future opportunities and threats to meeting the members' needs and expectations. So as we go through the SWOT, I'll be asking you to identify the things that you consider important that will lead to us becoming a stronger organization. Next slide, please. Some of the questions you'll be asking: how strong is ASQLI's image in the community of professional organizations? How strong, stable, effective, flexible is ASQLI's leadership? How effective is ASQLI's structure? How does the current and future financial stability of the organization look? How do features and costs of services compare to competitors? Is the leadership well focused on a clearly defined vital few issues, or are efforts widely dispersed? So these are some of the questions you'll be expected to address as we go through the activities. Next slide, please. Opportunities and threats. What new competitors may enter the Long Island business community? What new member services may the community stakeholders demand? How saturated is the community with professional organizations and training certification programs? How are demographics or values changing in the community? What new legal issues might arise? Are business partnerships or alliances effective for ASQ Long Island? And does the likely future economic situation pose risk or potential rewards? We've got economic situations that is defining how our business performs, and these are some of the things we need to consider as we determine what we need to do to improve ASQ, to improve our section. Next slide, please. Next. Another area we need to look at too is member satisfaction. We want to create services that delight our members. Are our services meeting our members' expectations? Are they benefiting from the relationship? And what service features are important to you? Next slide. The features are characteristics that our product or service does or has. For example, ASQ has knowledge centers, training, member communities, and certifications. The benefits are the reasons members buy the product or service. For example, the benefits of certification include professional development, job advancement opportunities, prestige. You get your certification, you feel good. And others recognize you for having that certification. Next slide, please. Objective. We'd like you to identify and then prioritize features that are important to you. Next slide. Now, the method we'll be using for this is called the Kano model. It's developed in the 1980s by this guy, Professor Kano, and assumes that not all features affect customer satisfaction equally, and models the different impacts by categorizing features into one of three main categories: dissatisfiers or threshold values, satisfiers, and delighters. Now, intuitively, we know that each feature has a different impact on member satisfaction, but often we don't put this intuition into practice. The Kano model provides one way of thinking about features and their associated impact on member satisfaction. So we'll be looking at defining the things that are important to us in terms of satisfaction. And the activities will clearly ask you to answer specific questions that will help us define that. Next slide, please. Here's what a typical Kano model graph looks like. You have the basic quality curve here, and anything below that is dissatisfied. These are things that a product must have. On the vertical axis, you have satisfaction. In your case, member satisfaction. And across there would be the quality or features that the organization offers that leads to satisfaction. And we're looking at expected quality. We're looking at exciting quality. And these are the things that you will have to define to say, well, you know, if these things are there, I'll be happy. If these things are not, I'll be dissatisfied. And what are some of the things that we would have to have in place to be excited about our section? All right? Next slide, please. The threshold features, dissatisfiers are the baseline features of a product or service. These are the basic requirements or must-haves. Our members are expected these basic requirements as part of the total package. These are the minimum things. Okay? You get your quality magazine, your QP magazine. You have section meetings that are offered and so on. These are basic things. If the basic requirements are not present, the member is unhappy or dissatisfied. Next slide, please. Satisfiers or performance features are ones that a member will be increasingly satisfied with the greater their availability. Okay? Having access to people with the right knowledge to help you, that is one of the things that make you feel satisfied. More is better. When the requirements are met, the more it is met, the better. These are the features that can have a metric next to them, like the number of certification prep courses offered. That will make you be happy, that will happen. The number of subject matter experts leading member meetings, that will make you happy. The number of collaborative events with sister sections. We come together with other sections to do things. Next slide, please. Delighters or excitement features. These are features or services that go beyond the expectations of our members. Members will have zero negative impact to their satisfaction if excitement features are absent. The service, unique from its competitors, and contribute 100% to positive member satisfaction. So these things that will delight you, if they're not there, it will make a difference, but if they're there, they make you feel stronger commitment to our section. So we want to identify those things that we consider delighters. Next slide, please. Okay, so for the activities, I'm going to ask you to break up into three groups. One group will look at a SWOT analysis. We look at strengths and weaknesses. This group will look at strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I'm sorry. Get this one. There we go. There you go. And you'll get some flip chart paper. And on the flip chart paper, you'll be responding to the questions on that activity. Okay, second group will look at SWOT analysis, opportunities and threats. And the next group will look at the Kano model. There you go. Okay. There you go. You get two.
We need to commit to the strengths. There's a strength at the commitment that we're running them and having them, but there's also the commitment is weakness also.
I think we need more outreach to non-attending members.
So that
that's
would be a
weak-
weakness.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
Outreach.
the rework is now going to be as expensive, almost as expensive as the initial build out. And that's just another example.
Based on that, we will try to see from that point of view, do you want to have training? We are going to say, training is very important to us. Do you want to have after work events? Which is, take your point, that's the way I'm going to get trained, right? So I'm just thinking out loud so that help us.
So we have to
Give us
resolve
attention,
that.
please. I'm going to ask one volunteer to remain at the desk, at each desk, and the others will move around for a few minutes.
So here for benefits, we say we have section specific benefits, we have national specific benefit. National meaning the national organization. Okay, for section, we have after work events, we have training such as certification classes, we have conferences, section specific conferences, newsletter, website, and now ASQ section TV.
We don't have a lot of time to spend on any of them. Okay, the next one was how are demographics of values changing in the business community? So we looked at this loss of manufacturing, services, particularly IT.
Outreach, how or why members come.
right.
If they find that topics are interesting and that there is a good group, I think they definitely will come. And one of the things is we've made it accessible to everybody because we're not charging anything.
The benefit, the list that we already have, after work events, training, including certification class, conferences, newsletter, website, ASQ section TV, networking for SME, networking for job opportunities. The most important three things that we value, that we have is after work events, the training we offer, and then the job opportunities. Okay. The weakness is also training, meaning we could do more, and then SME, meaning if I am stuck at work, I should be able to come here and seek help because these are all quality professionals. So I should be able to do that. The last one is job opportunity, meaning we can do more. The job opportunities means most of the time I'm employed, but sometimes I'm not employed. During that time, I would be able to come here, not expect anybody to offer me a job, but help me to network to reach out opportunity. That's what I mean by job. So three main strength is after work event, training, and job opportunities. The weaknesses are training, meaning can do more training, SME help, subject matter expertise help, and then more job opportunity, more avenue to look for jobs.
My colleagues for Group B, we were tasked with looking at opportunities and threats. So we came up with, start with the first three top opportunities. The first opportunity we identified was in the business sectors. We need to look at IT, education, and healthcare. We had others, but those were the top three that we think we needed to look at. The second opportunity is to get more involved with some of the other organizations that are out here on Long Island, IT, APICS, PMI. There's an engineering section, which we've had some involvement in the past, but I think we've kind of let that kind of die maybe on both sides, so I think we need to look at resurrecting that again. Maybe overall, I mean, even in this climate, now's the time to really sell this society as a way to all organizations to improve their bottom line. Is now's the time to invest, try to get them into a prevention and improvement modes and be proactive, obviously, rather than reactive. So those are our three opportunities. The threats that we identified, first threat is basically we need to look at some of the losses that we're seeing in manufacturing and in services, particularly in IT. That's one of our first threats that we saw. The second threat is, again, the job market is changing, and we have to adjust to that. And the third threat is just our own membership. I know, personally speaking, we're certainly not at a high in terms of number of members we have all together, and the amount of people that are coming to our meetings and events is not really good compared to the entire organization. I mean, 20 years ago at the annual section, we used to get 300 people. The last 4 or 5 years, it's been kind of flat, maybe at 50. So, I mean, that's telling us we're not anywhere as where we used to be. So that's the last threat that we identified.
All right, we had these strengths and weaknesses, and they're very similar to what we've been hearing all the way through. Let's start with the strengths. The first strength we have is educational, professional development. And that's what ASQ can bring to us through classes, through even the after-work meetings. The second one is professional recognition. So if you have a certification, you're recognized within the industry. It's tough to talk in front of the camera. Goodness!
You're doing fantastic.
Toastmasters isn't going to work too good. And networking. Also, networking is good for job opportunities. Kind of goes all together. Job opportunities, meeting people when you need assistance in a problem. That's one of the things that we spoke about. This might be the place that we can have it. So those are the strengths. The weaknesses. One of our weaknesses is publicity, lack thereof. The attendance, and they're all somewhat mingled the same. The attendance, if we had more publicity, possibly we would have more attendance. But would it, and what would be the best type? So that was one that, not really sure. It could be social media, it could be mail, snail mail, emails, LinkedIn. The other one, if you see, we really had a theme. The next four, all are pretty much the same. And it's about decreased apathy amongst the members, commitment, and it's, the members coming. Again, it has to do with the attendance. We have more commitment, we'd have a larger group of people coming. And then the last one is partnership with other societies. We used to do it more often. The IEEE you had mentioned. There might be other organizations we can partnership with. We have a smaller group of people, we put them all together, have a joint meeting like this. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
That's a fantastic job. What we'll be doing next is taking your information, and the board will be seeking actually some assistance from you. So you may want to put your name up if you're interested in following up on some of these top 3 activities. The top 3 items you identified, we can develop strategies on how we can move forward with these things in the interest of our membership. All right? So please, before you leave, make sure that you make you give your Rupal is not here. You give your name to either Sam or myself, and either Sam or I, and we are going to make sure that we're in touch with you to follow up on some of these things. So we want to have small teams help us develop strategies on how we should be able to take advantage of these opportunities. I see them all as opportunities, all right, to take the organization forward. Now, I'm going to take the information that you have worked on, and I'm going to summarize it for an article that will be published within another couple of weeks, another week or so, and it will be looking something like this. This will be how the strengths and weaknesses are going to be summarized. This is from one of the clients that this is how I normally present it. Strengths and weaknesses, and then opportunities and threats. So the information will be put into a format like this. And then for the Kano model, this is how it will be summarized. You're going to take the information, the like and dislike, the 1 to 5, and they'll be mapped into this graphic here, and will be presented to us. All the delighters in brown, the satisfiers in green, the threshold in yellow, etc. And so all that information will be mapped into this and put out there for our members all to look at. All right? So that is the work you've done will go a long ways in putting us on the right track to have greater attendance, increased membership, better quality programs, and it'll all be tailored to meet the needs of our members. The board is there to serve our membership, all of our members. And we need to know exactly what it is you're thinking about, where we need to be heading, the kind of things we need to offer, programs we need to offer in order to strengthen your performance at work and create more opportunities for you. So this exercise we did will form the foundation for taking us in the direction we need to go. And I know the board is more than happy to do all that it can in order to ensure that we're able to, package the things the right way so that we can, have effective programs put out there for the benefit of our members. But again, we need people to come together. We need volunteers, because we all work and have jobs, etc. So the more people we have that are willing to commit time and energies to these efforts, the better, the more likely we are to succeed. All right? So that is what this whole exercise is about: studying the environment for ASQ Long Island and determining the things we need to do in order to take advantage of opportunities, identify the threats, etc., with a SWOT and Kano, etc., to enhance the value of programs we offer to our members.